welcome to Firebird Nation Sports Update. I'm your host, Eric Zedalis. On this edition, I wrap up the winter sports seasons and check in with our spring sports teams. The Firebirds men's basketball team finished the 2016-17 season with an overall record of 14-13, including an East Coast Conference mark of 11-7. UDC qualified for the East Coast Conference Championship Tournament for the second consecutive year and the third time since the Firebirds joined the conference in 2011. Head coach Mike Riley's squad was a number 5 seed in this year's tournament and was faced with the tall order of playing a quarterfinals game versus a talented number 4 seeded Damon College team on the Wildcats' home floor in Amherst, New York. Senior guard Joseph Nickerson scored 17 of his game-high 29 points in the final 5 minutes of regulation, trying to will the Firebirds to victory, but UDC fell short by a final score of 73-71. Nickerson, who finished as an NCAA Division II statistical champion with a 3.2 steals per game average, earned first-team All-East Coast Conference honors. UDC's senior point guard Kasim Chandler was also named second-team All-East Coast Conference. Chandler was among the top 10 in the ECC in several categories. He ranked number 1 in the league for free throws made, second in the league for steals, third in assists, and 6th in scoring. The UDC women's basketball team finished head coach Juan Dixon's first season on a high note as the Firebirds earned an impressive 66-54 victory in their season finale at home on Senior Day versus the University of Bridgeport. The 2 senior veterans on this severely young UDC team, Chantrell Oliver and Jaslyn Rollins, both came through big time in their final game as Firebirds. Oliver led all scorers with 19 points while also producing game highs of 7 assists and 6 steals. Rollins, meanwhile, posted her 10th double-figure rebounding game this season, with a game-high 11 to go with 7 points. Oliver went on to be named third-team All-East Coast Conference. She finished the regular season ranked 13th in the conference in scoring at 13.4 points per game and joined an elite group as the 7th women's basketball student-athlete to reach the 1,000-point career scoring milestone this season. 7 of 9 players on Dixon's roster this year will be returning next year for what promises to be an exciting 2017-18 season. The UDC women's track and field team completed its indoor season at the East Coast Conference Championship meet at the Ocean Breeze Athletic Complex in Staten Island, New York. The Firebirds finished in 5th place with a total of 63 points. The highlight of the meet came in the final track event of the day, where for the 5th time in as many years this meet has been run, UDC was crowned champions once again in the 4x400 meter relay. Tamara Duncan ran leadoff, followed by Chanel Hibbert, Deasia Greer, and the anchor Nyasia Harding. UDC beat the 2nd place team from Roberts Wesleyan by a little over 1 second. Other highlights included senior Brittany Ocon having a tremendous leap of 4.97 meters to finish 2nd in the long jump event. Harding, Duncan, and Greer placing 2nd, 3rd, and 6th respectively in the 400 meter, and Harding, Hibbert, and Tamara Duncan placing 5th, 6th, and 10th in the 200 meter. Also, Hibbert and Ocon placed 3rd and 5th respectively in the 60 meter. First-year head coach Joel Phillips said he was pleased with the team's effort and performances, and he is excited about the next season. Quote, "We had a great meet as a team," Phillips said. "The majority of the student athletes either had season bests or personal bests, and this gives them a lot more confidence moving into the outdoor season this spring." Next, I interview men's tennis head coach Dickie Mahaffey. All right, so Dickie, you've got a core group of 5 guys back. They're the juniors now, they're in their 3rd year. Are expectations higher this year because of that?
I wouldn't say higher, but of course I'm very pleased with how all of those 5 core members have improved over the years. We always have high expectations of ourselves as a team in terms of how well we're going to perform in the conference and in the region. So Expectations are already high. I don't need to put any additional pressure on the players. They know what needs to get done.
Okay. Let's talk about two of them specifically. You've got Rock Bozic, who was a second-team All-East Coast Conference awardee last year. What do you expect of him this year?
I expect Rock to continue where he left off last season. Rock had a nice fall season so far, so going into our spring championship season, I'm expecting lots of good things out of Rock.
And Diego Pinto was a Rookie of the Year back in 2015. Also a very talented player. He's probably your number 2.
Yes.
Talk about him and what you expect out of him this year.
Diego, again, as well as everybody else on the team, expecting really good things out of Diego. We're hoping that we can get a full season of Diego without some sort of injury. Unfortunately, it's been unfortunate for him because, again, like as you said, Diego's a very talented player, but so far so good.
Okay. Now, speaking of adversity, the weather hasn't really been cooperating as of yet. Has that been a challenge in your preseason, just getting ready for this season?
Great question. Fortunately, actually, due to the super balmy early winter, that's been a plus. We've had a lot of extra court time and preparation, so in that regard, we're far ahead of schedule. Mm-hmm. But like you said, with the recent bad weather that's come into the area, it's kind of thrown a wrench into not so much the preparation, but our upcoming match schedule, which could be a challenge.
Right. Now, you try to get some non-conference matches scheduled, and you try to schedule some tough opponents to get you ready for that conference schedule. Talk about how tough the ECC is to play in.
The East Coast Conference is extremely challenging from top to bottom. There really is no bottom. You might have a couple standout teams that are kind of a little bit ahead of everybody else, and then the rest of the teams are right there with each other. So it's very challenging.
Okay. What do you guys have to do to be successful this year?
The big thing is, take control of points. Don't get discouraged when something goes wrong. Nobody plays a perfect match, no matter who you are. And just continue to fight. And our team has had a history of already being like that, already mentally tough, prepared, we'll fight till the bitter end. So I'm not too concerned about that.
Okay. And you've got a core veteran group like we talked about earlier.
Yes.
Talk about some of your newcomers.
So we have a freshman, Joseph Marinich, who we're expecting a lot of good things out of. He's so far proven himself on the court in practice and challenge matches and competing with the others. So he's a nice addition to the team.
Okay. Any matches you have circled on your calendar that you're really looking forward to this year?
Well, as always, Queens College and NYIT are always high up on our list. But we're looking forward to all of our matches, to be quite honest with you. We start our conference competition against Damon, which is going to be a tough fight, like all matches, and then then we come back, get to compete against Queens, Stack, all the conference usual. So
right.
they're all circled. All the matches are circled. We're looking forward to all of them, one at a time,
right.
One match at a time.
Now, historically, you guys have done a really tremendous job, not just on the court, but academically. Can you talk about how you guys have always done so well academically?
It's just like on the tennis court, the men's tennis team as well as the women's tennis team are very committed and dedicated to their studies, very disciplined, get the work done. It's been a pleasure kind of guiding them along. They come to me when they need advice on how to deal with certain situations in the classroom or how to best to communicate with a professor. But all in all, I just can't be more pleased with how they perform in the classroom.
And you did some community service back in the fall. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, both the men's and women's tennis team participated in a community service event with Food and Friends of Washington, D.C. Food and Friends is an organization that provides meals for those who have
less fortunate.
Who are dealing with serious medical issues, whether it be HIV, cancer, and other debilitating medical situations.
Right.
So it's a really rewarding experience for us.
Okay. Well, we wish you the best of luck this year.
Thank you, Eric.
All right. Next, I sit down with head men's lacrosse coach Rodger Colbert. All right, we're here in the men's lacrosse suite, and Rodger, I'm going to ask you a few questions here before I fall asleep on this comfortable couch.
Enough.
Give me your thoughts and impressions of how the season's gone thus far.
I think the season's gone pretty well thus far. We've played 5 games. We've won 3. We've lost 2. We lost one of our games by a 1-goal margin, and I always say that those are coaches' games, whether we win it by 1 goal or lose by 1 goal.
And that was the season opener.
That was the season opener at OVU in West Virginia.
Right.
But we're doing well. I mean, the kids, for a team that's had 14 to 15 players that are active each game, we're doing pretty well. Can we be doing better? Yes. We need a little bit more players. We need a number of players, and we need better players in better condition.
Okay.
So.
One of those 3 wins was against your Division I rival, Hampton University.
Sure.
It was a historic game, matchup between 2 historically black colleges. Probably a great atmosphere. Can you tell us a little bit about that game?
It was great. I mean, Coach Carter has been a blessing in terms of his hospitality, making sure we got down there, making sure everything went well. And then the game itself was it was surreal. And the fact that it was the first time D1 versus D2, historically black colleges, it just sort of felt right. And us playing together, we won't stop doing that for as long as our 2 programs exist, if our athletic directors let us play one another. And if it's fair. And right now it's fair because they're still building. But eventually they'll get to the point where it may not be fair.
Right. Still had to feel good to get a win in that game, though.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, with a short roster or a roster that's not expanded, every team we play has 14 or 15 more players than us. And the heart of our young men at UDC was really on display and pretty much all of our games except for our last one.
Okay. Now, you're entering into the crux of your season. You're playing some ECC schools.
Sure.
A string of schools that are ranked in the top 10 or 15 in the country. How do you compete in these games?
You just rely on your heart. You rely on your training and strategy. I think that's most important. If you put those things together and present it to our student athletes in a way in which they can digest it and then execute it on Saturday, we always will have a chance. We have the athletes, right? So whether we execute or not is always going to be our question.
Okay. You brought in a lot of recruits, and they seem to have a winning mentality. Do you get that sense?
I think the word "a lot of" is relative. I don't think we have that many.
Enough, right?
We have enough to field a team. I think next year we'll have a lot more recruits. But to answer your question, the recruits have to model the coaching staff. They have to embody what it is that the coach is trying to give off. And for the most part, our recruits are doing that. So.
And what is that?
A tough-minded, tough spirit, bounce back, we call it. When things are down, like last week we had a horrific loss. How do we respond to our loss this Saturday against the next nationally ranked team?
Right.
Do we learn from it, or do we just sulk and go back into our shells and not show up? So we're working on showing up every day. That's what we want.
Switching gears a little bit. Offensively, you guys have been playing great, putting up a lot of goals. You're one of the top scoring teams in Division II. Have a few individual players who are ranked in the top 10 in scoring goals and points. What's been the key to that success?
Our athletes are allowed to do what they do best. So the systems that we have in place are meant for dodging players that aren't looking to pass the ball too much. We need to pass, we can't pass too much. So I think that's the key. Another key is that we haven't played the ECC yet.
Right.
So at the level of our opponents, where very, very competitive our games are, but usually in ECC play, we really get to determine where where our future lies, where we need to grow with. And last week was an example of that. We played NYIT, and everything that went right in the first 4 games didn't go right. So what happens next?
All right. Talk about defense. What's been going on there?
Our defense is a work in progress, right?
Okay.
So we have one returning defender that is Jamet Owens and is our captain. He's doing extremely well. We have a newcomer in goalie, Nicholas Lundberg. Those two are our linchpins. We also have a bunch of freshmen.
Right.
And so gelling the two or mixing the two it hasn't been conducive to a winning lacrosse,
Okay.
even though we have a winning record. If our defense gets better, we have a much more likely chance of winning down the road.
And how do you get better moving forward?
It's a lot of film work. I think that's the key. You have to study everything. You can't just go out and play. You have to study. You have to sit down, dissect what you're doing wrong, and figure out how to fix it. And so lots of film work and lots of running. Our conditioning has to get better. If we're going to play 2-3 quarters of defense, which we should be accustomed to, we have to run for 45 to 60 minutes.
Okay. What, in a general sense, have you seen from this team, be it on the field or off, that you've liked?
The camaraderie. They're willing to run through a wall for one another, at least initially. I'd like to see that stay together, but it's their chemistry. They're willing to work on chemistry. I think I like those things.
Okay. And moving forward, what are your goals for the rest of the season?
Well, that's a good question. We have 7 games remaining. I like to see, a 4-3, 5-2 record. More importantly, I think I want to make sure that everyone's healthy and academically thriving. For us, Kevin Murphy and I, my assistant coach, the academics have to go first. And if we develop a culture in which that actually happens, the lacrosse will take care of itself.
Okay. Any games in particular within the ECC that you're looking at, we can steal this game?
Steal is a bad word,
Okay.
but I think we can compete and win against any ECC team.
Okay.
That is a bit of confident statement, but it's something that I really and truly believe.
And they're going to have to believe it in order to get it done.
That's part of it, yeah. Absolutely.
All right. Well, we wish you the best of luck the rest of the way.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Appreciate it.
And last, I talk with head women's lacrosse coach Melynda Brown and student athletes Kiana Franklin and Vanessa Valentine. All right, I'm here with head coach Melynda Brown. Melynda, how's the season going so far?
It's going really well. We're improving every day. We are doing our best to really elevate the team so that we're all on one level. We have a variety of skills level on our team right now. We have 3 players who have never played lacrosse before. One of them actually just started 2 weeks before the season. So right now, our goal each and every day is to improve, and so that's really helping our morale, our mentality of getting better every day, because we are seeing the improvement every day, which is awesome. We're a few games in and we have a lot to go left, and we're really looking forward to our up-and-coming battles with conference games.
How is recruiting going so far?
Recruiting's great. We're in the talks with a bunch of girls. We have 3 commits already. Hopefully by the end of the week we'll have 2 more. And so in April, when National Signing Day is for spring semester for lacrosse, hope to have 6 or 7 and then get a few walk-ons from the university, because we love to get these girls who have never played lacrosse before playing for us. I'm a big component of inviting new people to learn the game, and I love walk-ons from the university. And so hopefully we'll get roughly around 10 girls for next year, 6 or 7 from outside the university and 3 or 4 from the university.
Certainly you've developed a lot of new talent to the sport. You also picked up your first Division II women's lacrosse win against Davis and Elkins in your season opener. How did that feel?
Truthfully, it was unreal. We were playing 3 men down. We have had, unfortunately, a lot of accidents where off the field where we have a few girls that are injured because of what has happened off the field, unfortunately. So we were playing 3 men down. So it was really unreal. But our word of the day that day was composure. And we really kept our composure that day. We had composure on offense. We played great defense. We understood that we needed to make determine the pace of the game, which really helped us with that win because we were able to determine the pace of the game, and so it ended up in our favor because of that. And so composure was key that day. And I mean, it's just a great opportunity and, you know, a great level of excitement to win your first season opener for our freshmen, our new girls, you know, to have that win under their belt it brings the morale up.
Okay. Now, you talked about composure. That's something you're definitely going to have the rest of the way now as you enter ECC play. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, our ECC, the ECC conference is one of the top in the nation. We right now have 3 in the top 10, or top 20, 1 being right on the bubble. So our composure is going to be needed because we're going to be playing against teams who these young students have been playing lacrosse since they were 5, 6 years old. And so with us being all different levels, some of us have been playing since they were 4 years old or 5 years old, or, you know, but then there are those girls that have only been playing a month. So composure is really going to be important. Staying composed during the game, keeping mentally in check during the game and not letting emotion take over is going to be really important. And it's really just about us playing our game, and we set goals and little wins, and it's really about getting those little wins, you know, winning the draw controls that day, winning ground balls, you know, keeping player number 7 or number 9, whomever that player is, under 4 goals because she just had 7 goals the past 3 games. And so it's more about those little wins and keeping composure so that big outcome can come, hopefully soon.
Talk about some of your key players.
Our key players right now, so Aaliyah Carter is a senior on our team. She is really killing it on the draw, which is really important. It's, you know, that 50-50 ball that we really need to start every single game off right. So she's been really good for us on draws, on attack, on defense. You know, another big person for us right now is senior captain Danny Falco. She's been a 4-year captain on our team. She is actually a goalie, and she's been our amazing goalie, 3-year starter for the past 3 years. And this year, we, because of our roster size and because of injuries, we had to make her a field player. And, you know, bless her heart, she was more than willing to do it. And she's actually been phenomenal, it was kind of surprising, just see her athleticism, which, you know, you can only see so much of her athleticism in goal. And so she's been great. Vanessa Valentine has really stepped up. You know, last year it was kind of, you know, you're a freshman, you can kind of get away with things, but not on our team really. Being such a small size, she's been doing great. Kiana Franklin, you know, when her head stays in the game, she's amazing. You know, Jada Foyt, who is our goalie this year, freshman from Florida, she has really, you know, we're asked a lot. She sees a lot of shots on her in games, more than our team shows her in practice, and we ask a lot of her. And so when she stays in the game, it's awesome. And, you know, I mean, really everyone on our team, because, I mean, we're playing 2 men down constantly right now. So everyone is very important to us, and everyone needs to keep their head in the game.
And what are your goals for the rest of the way?
Kind of like I said before, is we need to win those small goals. We need to win ground ball games. We need to win win by losing, having a smaller amount of turnovers than the other team. We need to cause more turnovers. We want to have more shots. We want to make sure that, you know, there's bodies on the other team when they're in the 8, so that if we win all those small goals that we set, we can win the game. And so, you know, I really just want the end of the season to really be about having fun, staying together, enjoying our time as student athletes, and coming together. And, you know, hopefully there will be one or 2 more wins. And, you know, we're really competing in the ECC this year instead of just, you know, getting walked on kind of.
All right, well, good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you.
All right, I'm at an indoor women's lacrosse practice, and I'm here with freshman Kiana Franklin. Kiana, you're from North Babylon, New York. How did you end up at UDC?
Originally, I had my eyes set on the DMV area, and then when I came here, I was for sure when I met the coach, and she was very, not only like focused on lacrosse, but our life outside of lacrosse and our goals in life. So that really set me to want to come here.
All right, and how would you say the season is going so far?
I think the season's going really great. There's a lot of new players, but they're very eager to learn, and it's like humbling playing with people that don't really know the game because they look up to us, and that sets a different standard for us in like our attitude toward the game.
Okay, and how did it feel to get a win in your first collegiate game against Davis and Elkins?
It was actually awesome. The energy was great. I think we learned a lot from that game as well. Although it was a win, there was a lot of things that we did need to work on, so we took a lot of things back from that game, and we're just pushing forward for the rest of the season.
Okay, and as you go on, what do you guys need to improve on?
I believe we should improve on communication. Definitely talking to each other on defense especially. Other than that, I can't really say.
And what goals do you have individually for the rest of the year?
Becoming a better leader, not letting my emotions show on the field as much, and keeping everyone pumped as much as I can.
All right, thank you. Wish you the best of luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
All right, now I'm here with sophomore Vanessa Valentine. Vanessa, you're from Staten Island, New York. How did you end up at UDC?
I ended up it actually started with my head coach, my basketball head coach, and she got in touch with my current coach, Melynda, and we spoke, and I came and I visited, and I really fell in love with the place, so I came here.
And had you played lacrosse before?
Yeah, all 4 years of high school.
Okay. And what do you like about UDC?
I like how it's very convenient. The houses, the apartments are right across the street. I like the people, the professors.
Okay. How has this season been going so far?
The season's going really good. There's a lot of people on the team that haven't played before, and with each game that we have, they get progressively better, and you can see that on the field. So it's going good.
As someone who has played lacrosse already, what do you do to help them?
I try to talk to them, like have little passes on the side, kind of, a little bit.
Okay. And how do you think you've played so far this season?
I mean, I could do better each game, like, be a leader and try to be a bigger presence on the field. Yeah.
Okay. And what are your goals for the rest of the way?
My goals for the rest of the way is just to become a better player, like I said, have a bigger presence on the field. Just basically, yeah, those two things.
All right. Well, we wish you luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
All right. That's all the time we have for this episode. Be sure to check out all the Firebird action on our website, udcfirebirds.com, and our social media accounts, Facebook, UDC Athletics, Twitter at UDC Athletics, Instagram at UDC Athletics, and YouTube, UDC Athletics 1. Thanks for joining us, and see you next time.